Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next few hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Senor Nick. And Steve is here too.
Good morning, everybody.
And Mike is going to be a little late, but he'll be here. Our number
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being brought to you by Adamas.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, and made possible by Telestream Wirecast software. What did you say, Nick? I'm sorry.
I don't remember now. Wasn't
Okay.
something
No.
important.
Wasn't important.
Obviously. Yeah.
Obviously. So what's happening?
You know, since Google has talked about, since Google has pretty much killed off Google Plus, I've had nothing but problems with it, and with Windows 10. Like you just join you click, you join the Hangout, nobody's in there, your camera doesn't initialize, it won't open. You have to end the task for the Hangout because when you close out, it doesn't actually end the task. You got to switch to Firefox. You got to clear your cat. It's just so annoying. I don't know what they're doing, but there never used to be problems like this.
So the problems that you're having are the same as the one that Brian is having, and the same as who was it that Andrew
was having
Andrew
it.
couldn't
Yeah,
get in.
it's just I don't know what Google's doing.
Interesting.
I didn't have any problem at all coming in today.
Yeah, it's. I wonder if it's when stuff is up. It seems to be happening when stuff might be under a load, but I don't know when peak hours for that stuff is.
You mean Windows can't handle the load? Windows 10.
No, Andrew's on OS X.
Oh, that's right. He's on OS X.
Google Plus, you mean then?
Yes.
Well, I can't imagine there would be a load at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly, but like the problems we were having were like middle of afternoon. So
I see.
So
I
guess
don't
that's
hang out with you guys like I used to.
see if you don't like us, you don't hang out with us.
Some people
It's-
sleep.
Just can't be bothered.
He's like, oh, look at these schmucks hanging out. Steve's sitting over there with his monitor. Doesn't have time for
I'm
us.
dusting the monitor continuously.
Constantly with a microfiber cloth. Just
That's right.
24
Oh,
hours
there's a
a day.
speck of dust on it again.
Oh, hold on. Stop using the computer. We got to clean off the monitor. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are
And
you?
some doofus is
Is-
using my name.
I was just about to say something. I mean, for real, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is a problem.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
You guys like my hair today?
No, to be honest. You did want me to be honest, didn't you?
You know, we were talking about you guys were on my Google Plus, and I got a couple minutes before my battery dies on this Mac because I'm not connected. But I am noticing a lot of people are experiencing some problems, and I think they are getting ready for a major upgrade to the service, from what I've heard. And a lot of those maintenance fixes have they pulled back on it because they're going to be doing a total reconstruction of the way that the service works.
Okay.
But here's the bad news. The bad news is they're going to be concentrating more on mobile usage and not desktop usage.
Yeah, seemed to be the push since they um now that they've pushed that as like the main messaging app on Android.
Which is fine. I like that it's the main messaging app. I think there should be a common, a mix between the two.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Google Plus is that there's Google Hangouts, that there's very little guidance as to what their future is going to be. Is this going to be a mobile app? Is this going to be a desktop app? Is this going to be a browser app? Who's using the service? I don't think a lot of people are using Google Hangouts.
No, I don't think so at all.
I don't think it's as widely used as people think it is. We use it because we're doing a very specific thing, but I don't know. Do people do group calling like this? Do people do, we do it because we all hang out and we talk, but how common is that?
I feel like a lot of people are just doing Skype.
I think
Right?
it was popular when it first came out, but it just seems to have waned, doesn't it? No one seems to be. It's not the in thing anymore. It was the in thing at one time.
When the time of hangout canopies where random people would join your hangouts and you would meet new people. I mean, that's when it was at its peak. I mean, Andrew, how many people did we meet that would just be like, "Hey, I saw you guys are doing a hangout," and they would join and they would talk, and then be like, "All right."
A lot of we made a lot of. I mean, that's how we all kind of became friends, right?
Oh yeah, it's the first time I talked to you was a Google Hangout.
Yeah, it was all like through the podcasting people, but I think there is a use for it, but I don't think when you're looking at what Google's doing, Google's not caring about us. Google wants the 18-year-olds, the 17-year-olds, the 16-year-olds. They want to be a hot commodity like an Instagram, and I don't think they're doing Google Hangouts after school. Or maybe they are. I mean, maybe they are. I mean, almost everyone that I know uses Skype. From that age group, I've asked people. I've asked, my relatives that are that age, and everybody uses Skype.
Interesting.
I don't use Hangouts at all. Not one for video anyway. But I used to come on occasionally. But the interest just seemed to sort of flow away after a while, and nobody seemed to be interested.
Keep going, guys. Keep going.
I'm sorry.
What was the thing that Mike said the other week? Was it Blab something or another?
Blab. Yeah. Here's the problem with Blab. I used it a little bit, and I had a lot of people like it. And this isn't a criticism of the service; it's a criticism of the people. These Blab people are just nothing but marketers. They're nothing but marketers. They just sit there, and if that's
there's that one lunatic. What's his name? Is Curious.
I have no clue.
So I think that's her name. I don't know her name. And Mike sent me a link yesterday to Blab. So I went on there, and all these people are talking about Blab is a feature. Blab is a feature. First of all, there's no more than 20 people watching something on Blab, so nobody's using the service.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. There's a lot of active people on Blab.
I mean, from what I saw yesterday, the most viewers for one show was about 25 people.
Yeah, I wonder if it's died out because like last week when we first started looking at it, there was like 115 people watching some of the higher up Blabs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but that's it's not a tremendous amount, and the people that are doing it are marketers, and then the other people are just mentally ill. There was a woman talking about her sex life with her child right next to her 8-year-old child right next to her.
Why?
I think people just want, I think Blab is interesting. It's the flavor of the week, but it's not, I don't think it's proper utilization of a video service for what we do.
No.
It's only four people as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is 4 people, and then it queues up the rest.
I can see there'll be use for it in certain circumstances, but I haven't looked at it because I don't do video. But it sounds interesting.
I mean, the other thing about Blab that's interesting is that you can't control the volume, the master volume. If you notice that, you can only control individual participants' volume, but not the master volume. So let's say it's a little too loud, you can't just lower it.
The problem is WebRTC. WebRTC allows you no control over sound. WebRTC doesn't allow you to select a sound card, so you have no audio control at all. You can just mute individual people, which I like that feature, really, because like you just don't want to hear somebody, or somebody's got a lot of background noise. You can just like mute them, and then it really doesn't matter what they have to say.
Someone's got an annoying voice.
Exactly, like me. Yeah, you can just mute me.
Yeah.
You can't do it in the Hangout, unless Amnon mutes me.
Yeah, and Jeff brings up, Dave Jackson had about 80. Yeah, I mean, these are people that have some sort of following, but it's rare to see, hundreds of viewers on Blab. Dave will have 80, but you go to the second person that has the most viewers, and it's like 20 or 30 people. The user base is not big. It's going to continue growing, obviously, but it's interesting to see who's utilizing it for what. Nick, would you use Blab? You're a kid.
I don't like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm 12 years old, and no, I don't think I'd use Blab. I don't like it. I don't like the people that are on there. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't know.
I've yet to look at it or give it a try. I've just heard a few people mention it, and I thought I'd mention it again and see if it has improved or changed slightly from what it appears to be.
It's all right. I mean, it's interesting. It's you know what it is. People like the old Stickam way of doing things. Where people can participate and get on video and talk to strangers, and that's why Stickam was so successful for a while. But I don't know if in 2015, the 2005 model of video service works. There's a couple other sites like that. I don't know if JustCast does it, but there's which one is it, Nick, that does like the multiple
Vaughn.
boxes?
Isn't it Vaughn?
No, Vaughn doesn't do that. I don't know.
Maybe it's JustCast. You can select multiple webcam, like multiple people can join your stream.
Yeah. Like
I think it's Vaughn.
Come up on camera. Vaughn doesn't do that. I know that for a fact.
Okay, maybe then it must be JustCast.
It could be JustCast. There's another one, Connect something. There's another one that does it.
ConnectCast.
Yeah, I don't know if people are doing that nowadays. It was in, and now it's not.
Yeah.
Podcasting I don't consider that to be podcasting. It's very different.
No, that's the thing, and like I said, if marketing and listening to marketers is your thing, then go for it. But I was talking to Mike Phillips was in one time, and they were all talking about, they were just having a casual conversation about Bitcoin or something like that. That was the topic in the room, and Mike was like, Mike said he didn't know a lot about Bitcoin, and like one of the other guys knew a little bit, and then he said this other guy joined that like does Bitcoin, and he just wouldn't shut up. He talked for like half an hour, and then everybody just left.
And they can't kick off.
Well, I mean, they didn't want to kick him, but he was just talking about Bitcoin and not he was just like marketing Bitcoin. But while they were just having a casual conversation, this guy kind of joined in and made it a marketing.
Organized chaos, and once that happens, there's really little you can do about it. I'm not a big fan of that. Phone calls is another thing. People say, well, how come there's a difference between radio and podcast? Radio can take phone calls. Podcast is very difficult because they don't have the systems like a Telos system or something else or a Comrex. But even with Blog Talk Radio, you can take the phone calls. You still need another person to do the call screening. I think Skype is the worst way to take phone calls. I mean, we do it every now and then on the shows, but I absolutely hate it because most of the time people calling have nothing to say. Unless you have a call screener. So why do you think it would be different if you're doing video,
Hey, Andrew, how are you doing?
I mean, most of the time they say nothing. I've had set topics, and they want to know on how Paul Thurrott could fix their Windows phone. That makes for a great conversation.
PC Hotline, hello. Can I take your call?
So, Nick, I know that Amnon stepped away for a second, and so did Steve. You had some car trouble yesterday. I know that this isn't the car show, but...
yeah.
$700.
$700. 641.67 is my total.
For rear coils.
Yeah, rear springs, not
rear
coils.
springs.
Yeah.
Welcome to being a big boy.
Yep. And I bought a Nintendo 64 yesterday at the flea market.
So how are you going to hook it up?
I hooked it up to the one of the flat screen TV in the basement.
And how does that
Uh,
look?
My honest, it looks awful. I really need to get a CRT for it. To be honest with you, I need to get
Yeah,
like
it
a
doesn't translate well to flat
no. I need to get like a. My parents are gonna kill me. I need to get like a 25-inch or 30-inch CRT, and put it somewhere. I guess I have no clue.
I mean, have you ever just thought about building like a little, building a small box and just doing the emulators?
I did. I did try doing it with the Raspberry Pi, and the biggest problem is mapping the controller. Like that's where stuff because each different emulator requires its own map. So that's where you
so
really
what-
start running into
you need
problems.
an individual controller for each one.
You don't need an individual controller, but like you know what the Nintendo 64 controller has, it has that like appendage in the middle of it with the joystick.
Yeah.
Like you can't use a Super Nintendo controller to replicate that. It doesn't work.
No, so what you need to do is actually get the controllers for that console for that.
Pretty much. Yeah, and then you got to map them in the software. It's just really annoying. And plus, it's kind of cool to actually like look at that thing and be like, oh, there you go. Like I can actually physically put a game in it.
Device. Somebody posted. There is a little converter device that it goes in between, and it's able to do some processing to the video where it makes it look better on an LCD on the
Well, that
on, an,
Super Nintendo thing was a physical mod that you install on the board.
on the Nintendo
Yeah, it was for the Super Nintendo. You actually install it as a mod.
to do HDMI.
Yeah, exactly. It does some like upscale converting.
So I assume that you could do the same for N64.
It depends if somebody's made the now, you want to hear something crazy, Andrew?
Yes.
I was doing the show with Jake, and he was talking about how the GameCube had a component adapter.
Okay.
So for component video, this thing was only sold in Nintendo retail shops in New York. The cables are going for $400 a piece online.
You're kidding me.
That's insane.
Official Nintendo GameCube component cables.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm looking at it. $349.
There's so little of them in circulation because they were only
get a
sold.
third party one.
Yeah, but people want the people that are collecting these these older systems want authentic stuff. Like they're not using Mad Cat controllers. They're using
Mad Cat's Universal Controller, $20.
Yeah, exactly. They're using like the raw GameCube controller, which is to each their own. But I got the problem with the retro game market right now is the inflation is insane.
Why? I mean, I don't understand that.
Everybody wants them. Super Mario. I spent $25 on Mario Kart 64.
I have all of those.
Yeah, if you just do an eBay search for Mario Kart 64, $32, $18, 10 bids, $24, 0 bids, $35, buy it now, $16, 20 bids. That's the going price for it. These games are just unbelievably expensive.
Retro's coming back.
Yeah. The problem is a lot of these people threw these games away. And now everybody wants them. I was lucky that I got the guy that sold me the thing had a bunch of video games and he seemed like
Ocarina of Time is $25.
Yeah, I was gonna get Smash. They want $45 for Smash.
I have all of them.
I mean, if you do an eBay search for a Super Mario Bros. Smash, $40. Buy it now.
Majora's Mask, $40.
Yeah.
I should sell all of these.
It's
You'd make
unbelievable.
a fortune.
It's unbelievable.
Look at this. The retail cost is for Zelda for the Nintendo, $30.
What the original Nintendo?
Yeah.
Like the gold one.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, I have it as well.
I have two of them actually.
So it's very, very expensive to get into. But it's just going to be one of these things where I'll just add to my collection over time, and then I'll have a little retro game collection.
Oh.
But for $60, I got the system and that game.
Yeah, I have all of these, and so maybe I should start selling them. I mean, I have over 70 Nintendo games in my attic.
You should sell me some of them.
I'll sell you some.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, buying them online's a little. Buying them online is a little. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about buying it online. But if there's like you could go sell, like guarantee you could sell them back to a game store locally, Andrew, like a mom and pop game store, for
Yeah.
at least $20 a piece.
Well, you know what else is interesting? People have homebrew versions of this on Nintendo cartridges now.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
like, there's like a Zelda game called Outlands, and
Homebrew.
yeah, it's a homebrew, and the guy sells it in the Nintendo cassette, and it's like a weird version of Zelda. Like he made his own version.
I mean, the market is the problem is a lot of people want these games. Like a lot of people want Super Mario Bros. Smash.
That's interesting. I'm curious to see what I have up there.
Yeah, it's and God forbid you had the box. I mean,
The crazies would start coming out if you had
oh
the box
man,
as
the
well.
box. You
I
could
have the
get.
box. I have them all in the box.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I have all of them in the box.
You have them in the box.
Yeah, the paper box. Yeah.
You are literally sitting on a gold mine. Andrew, that box set will literally sell for $100.
No, that's impossible.
Yes.
That's
Here you go, Andrew. Andrew, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. N64 cartridge and box complete, $90 on eBay.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, I'm somewhat of a hoarder when it comes to things like collectibles and things like that.
Uh-huh.
Like I've never thought about selling those games.
How about this, Andrew? How about the box on eBay? The box just selling for $40.
Wow. Who are these lunatics that are paying for that?
It's people that this is their hobby. This is what they do. They just collect this stuff. That's no different than people buying park cards. That's just what they do.
And
So-
we're back.
Oh, hello. Wow. What happened,
Welcome
Amnon?
back.
It'll go away in a little bit,
What will?
Andrew.
Well, I have a feeling I know who it is. So
Oh, I know who it is,
We have an idea.
but he can come back in.
people are so dopey. People are so dopey.
Yeah, so the used game market is. If anybody's got any Nintendo 64 games and they're looking to get rid of them,
I just found all of them in my attic. I just found all the games. I don't have the boxes for the Nintendo 64, sadly.
that's fine. Hit me up if anybody's got any games they're looking to get rid of. Hit me up. I'll make it worth your time. Got to build this collection.
I like that. That's a
And-
retro game for you, and that was a modern game for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Anybody that's
wait, did you buy the expansion pack?
came with the expansion.
Okay, good.
The little memory card on the top.
Yeah, so that was a big problem. Obviously, I don't even know if you were born when what year were you born? 98.
97.
Okay, so I think you were born when it came out. But when they released, so it didn't initially sell with that expansion, and when they released Zelda, whatever the Zelda game was, the first one, all these people bought the game, and it told you that you can't play it because you need an expansion pack.
The blue expansion pack. What does that mean?
Yeah. So people went out to buy the expansion pack, but none of the stores had it because nobody carried a lot of them. So people had this game for months and they couldn't play it.
It was a 4 megabyte expansion pack.
Yeah.
There's a blue one in there, which is weird because they're all red.
guys,
So
if
knows.
anybody is using AVG out there,
No.
AVG changed their policy to say that they will sell your information to third party.
That's why I don't use any antiviruses.
That's nice.
Yep, not just
Hey
your
guys, I'm
information.
gonna run, but I'm gonna be listening.
Okay,
Bye, Andrew.
Andrew.
All right,
n-
see you guys later.
all right, Andrew. Not just your information, but also your browsing information.
Uh-oh.
So
What has made them change their mind and
I guess they're
you know,
not
turn
making
tail
money.
on this? Money.
Yep. I guess they're not making money, so they're trying. I mean, in a way, you can't blame them, but you can. Now look how.
Shocking.
Now, well, I mean, it, we're using free versions of pieces of software if we can. And this company need to make money. They're making money from businesses. That you all these free programs you can run for home use, but you cannot use the free one for business use. AVG it got so big that people started dropping it, and I guess they're not making money. And with Windows 8 and Windows 10, that it's built in for businesses, it's good enough. So it's just something that you would expect to happen to companies like that. I don't see any of the other ones doing it. Uh, but I can tell you, a couple of years ago I started using Avast, and the paid version is not that much. It's like I think $29, and it works great, and it's light. It's very light, and works. So as people move from one to the other, I mean, we all did. You hear about something that works, you use it. Then after a while, you hear about a different one. You say, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to use that one," and you try that, and it works, and you go to that, and I mean, the only thing is the point here is if you are using AVG, be aware that they have changed their policy to say that they will sell your information to third party vendors. Anybody that will pay them, I guess.
Oh, I suppose it's a slope, isn't it? There, no one's done it. The other ones that are giving it away free will try and do the same.
Yeah, but if it's not your antivirus selling it, it's going to be somebody else. So this
Yeah.
is just the age we live in, unfortunately.
Data is valuable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
The most valuable thing is data. Intel, I really don't understand this. In June, what, 3 months ago, Intel announced a processor branded as Broadwell C. Now the company has confirmed that the part was canceled, but would not give an official reason. Why did Intel kill the Broadwell C? IT World's Andy Patrizio speculates that it's a combination of increased cost, lower yield, and potential product cannibalization. The cannibalization of the company newly launched Skylake processor, which the Broadwell C outperformed.
Mhm.
So they came up with a new one that the generation before was actually better. So they killed that earlier generation.
Good.
No, it's not
might have-
good.
Yeah, it is.
People-
They're going to re-release it with a new name so that it doesn't.
Maybe,
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Because
but if
1,
you
2, 3, instead it's going 3, 2, 1. So what they'll do is they're going to cancel it. Then it just won't be called the Broadwell C. They'll just name it the Skylake A or something like that.
if you just bought a computer and it has the Broadwell C, and you are one that's always on the bleeding edge, and you always buy the latest one, don't, because you're better off with the Broadwell C then, until something else comes up, of course.
I don't even think they made the Broadwell C.
You what?
Then they just announced it.
Well, if it's not out, I don't know. That's a good point.
I'm reading an article now that says the Broadwell C is not dead. Where did you get that?
The what? It's IT World.
Yeah, this is saying that a report on Thursday by IT World claims that Intel is discontinuing its Broadwell C. Let's see. They have since IT World has since corrected and amended its story, saying that this is the fact that the next generation Skylance C has been canceled. So the Skylake C.
Okay,
has
I
been
didn't
canceled,
catch that.
Not the Broadwell C. It's
Good.
stupid.
See, guys, I always have somebody to correct me. Good, Nick.
Well, I just did a search for Broadwell C, and the first
Yeah.
thing was from PC World.
Okay.
I wasn't looking to correct you. That's how it came across. I'm sorry.
Nick was talking about getting his car fixed yesterday.
Oh boy.
Nick, I sent you a link. And no, yesterday, remember?
Oh.
It says the Obama administration today ordered Volkswagen to recall 500,000 four-cylinder Volkswagens and Audi vehicles for model years 2009 through 2015. The vehicles were programmed to turn on more thorough emissions control and generate cleaner reading when tested for emissions than they did when in ordinary operation. In effect, the software made everything operate normally when you looked at it, just like any good malware. So they call it Slashdot calls it malware. What they did is they programmed the computer that when you check the OBD2, it shows, oh, nice, no emissions or very low emissions, and everything is fine. When in reality, it was not like that. So
Very
that
freaking
is
idea.
interesting to hear and see what the rest of the story is there, if it's true.
No, the rest of the story is they got caught. I mean, that's what it is.
Well,
Like all these car companies are doing this crap.
Yeah, you can't tell me it's just Volkswagen.
No, it's not.
It's a big slap, but they reckon the fine's going to be astronomical, don't they?
I think the fine's already out.
well,
I saw
look,
it.
to recall 500,000 cars is already an astronomical.
500,000 isn't that much.
Well,
I mean, think about it. Across the United States, 500,000 cars. From was it 2010 to what?
I'm talking about what the hit that they're taking, Volkswagen. I mean, if each car is going to cost them $50 to fix, say it's going to be more than that. Think about how much.
Yeah.
It's a fine.
They're going to face a fine of about $18 billion. $37,500 per car.
Wow.
I don't think they'll be doing that again in a hurry.
Nope. And I bet you all these other car manufacturers are going to start doing their own recalls to fix this stuff. Now
They're
they're
all going to be
screwed.
all the other manufacturers are going to be going.
Yeah, I mean, the VW, it's the same thing as the Audi.
Yeah,
I guarantee you those Audis have the exact same thing. And I guess it's the TDI diesels, although it's the diesel ones that were the problem. So if you're driving TDI,
but there's some talk in the media of the emissions testing being a little bit too strict anyway, or not easily achievable.
yeah. Interesting.
Yep. Very interesting.
Well, if you put heavy restrictions in place, people will try and get around it. It's obvious. Human nature, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I mean, remember we were talking about that manufacturers are trying to make it so users cannot, or the drivers, their customers cannot change computer settings in the car, like many cars can do, and to kind of treat it just like regular software that we are not supposed to touch.
Yeah, you may have bought it, but it's not actually yours. You can't touch it.
Right. On paper, that's how it is. But, I mean, there's a lot of little handhelds out there that are made in order to connect to cars and tune them better for more power. More power means more emissions. And
Well, yeah, go on any Chinese site and you can get an ODB, whatever it is,
Yep.
To connect to your computer, and you can change everything.
right,
They used to
Absolutely.
be £100 or so, but I think they're about $20-30 now.
they are real
Wow,
cheap.
Do you have one, Amna?
I don't have one because I don't have any use for it.
Yeah.
But my brother
like a
has
part you would
what do you call the big diesel Ford?
F350, F250.
No, it's not a pickup. Excursion.
Oh, okay.
And apparently it makes a big difference. Little settings there that give you more power. And since in North Carolina nobody checks diesels for emission, you can do whatever you want apparently.
Hmm.
But I
So
think
if
this
you don't
one,
mind,
you
if
what?
you don't mind losing a little bit of fuel economy for performance, then fine, go at it.
Yeah. So it was like I think $260 some, and it came with a bunch of programs. It's already set up, performance or fuel economy, I mean, different things. So it's not expensive, and you can do it. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Can standard users do things like GPS updates? Yes, GPS updates you should be able to do, and it should be very, very permissible. I thought Alan asked if can stranded users can do GPS updates. Some people were stranded with Apple. Remember, what was it? The Apple GPS maps, the Apple Maps, or something like that. The fiasco that was a few years ago. It will take you to the middle of the desert. I know Brian is in the chat. Maybe he remembers. And correct me if I'm wrong, and don't worry about it, Brian. You can correct me.
Middle of the desert would be okay. It's middle of the lake that was the problem.
Let me tell you something. I mean, yes, there is there you can use a phone as a GPS, and I do. But I also have an old Garmin, probably about 5 years old. I think Garmin is the only company out there right now that still charges you to update the maps. So of course you never do it.
Yeah, I've
thing
got a
still
Garmin,
works.
and I'm not going to pay. I think it was
No.
£75 to upgrade for another year.
Right.
No way.
So, but I still use it because it's a whole lot easier to have it stuck there on the windshield, and I'm yet to find something that it can't find. And we are not an area that is static. I mean, the area grows. It's growing, but you can still. I mean, the truth is, I never said, "Oh shoot, it doesn't have that in it." But sometimes it gets there, and along the way, you see that you're driving through a field. So, but it gets you to wherever you need to go. But yeah, no, I mean, if you have GPS, you should be able to update the maps. But of course, if they want to force, they can say, no, you can't touch it. Now listen to this thing, AT&T. AT&T said 3 of its employees secretly installed software on its network so a cell phone unlocking service could surreptitiously funnel hundreds of thousands of requests to its servers to remove software locks on phones. The locks prevent phones from being used on competing networks and have been an important tool used by cellular carriers to prevent customers from jumping ship. So AT&T customers employees installed software that allowed other people to unlock thousands of phones. I wonder what what do you do under the stopping it? I'm wondering if you can go back and see who was unlocked and get back on. I don't know. Nick, you unlocked your phone, right? At
No.
one time or another.
No, I jailbroke. It didn't unlock.
Oh. Well,
I
okay.
rooted it. I didn't unlock it.
Explain the
Unlocking-
difference.
So, unlocking is so the phone has. It's exactly what the article explains. The phone has a lock on it that keeps it slave to that carrier. Now, you can go to AT&T and then say, "Hey, I want this phone unlocked," and it's a shot in the dark. Maybe they'll unlock it, maybe they won't. But rooting the phone is just you just rooting the phone and taking control of things that it normally won't let you do. So rooting is just done on your phone. Unlocking is what the carrier does, so that you can take your phone to somewhere else if you'd like.
Okay, so are you saying? I mean, in the early days when we had SIMs, you could pull the SIM out and put another SIM in there, and suddenly you're on a different carrier.
Well, that
You can't do that anymore.
with flip phones, is that what you're referring
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Before my time.
Yeah, because back then there was no unlocking. It's
Yeah, honestly, it was before my time.
Unlocking locked the SIM to the particular network, didn't it? And then if you got a SIM from another ISP or a service provider, then you could punch in a series of numbers and stars and various things to say it's not locked to this service provider. You can use any SIM in it.
Now you can't do that. You have to go to the carrier and request an unlock, and that's obviously these people were probably charging people for an unlock. And
I
that's
found
what-
mine on the internet, did it free.
Yeah. So interesting.
I remember you guys, you and Andrew and whoever in the hangout talking about the fact that you have to unlock the phone or root the phone in order to remove all the bloatware.
That's rooting the phone.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Brian is saying the carrier can, or Brian Aldridge is saying your carrier can unlock your phone. Yeah. Now, if they, depending on who you talk to, they might or might not.
The thing is, when you root the phone, there's a chance that it may not go right and you end up with a brick
Yeah.
or
It
paperweight.
could.
Yeah, I think that's a lot more I think that's a lot more or rarer than people talk about on the internet.
Well, I don't like all the junk that's in my phone. The recent one I bought, the HTC Desire. There's an awful lot of stuff in there that I will never ever use. It's just taking up space, and then having to update whenever there's an update, which seems to be every week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know how easy rooting a phone is. I haven't really looked into it yet because I'll probably wait until the guarantee's out and then do it.
Oh, Tim is saying that this is a ZDNet article that's saying U.S. carriers will now unlock your phone thanks to a law change. Interesting.
Well, you buy it, it should be yours. You should be able to do what you want with it.
Yeah, but here we go. For major carriers, AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint, phones sold before February of 2015 can only be unlocked to international carriers. So, yeah, there you go. They're not going to let you unlock it and bring it somewhere else.
Can only be unlocked to international carriers.
Yeah, so like
So-
BT or somebody else, I guess.
So there is something built in that.
No, they're making it so the law. If you have owned
Interesting.
a phone before the law, they won't unlock it to Sprint or Verizon. If you have it on AT&T, they'll just unlock it to international carriers. I mean, I just skimmed through the article. That's what I'm taking away. I could be
Interesting.
wrong.
Okay.
So who knows?
And if any of you live up in the Chicago area, it's on. subscribers to popular streaming services, including Xbox Live and Spotify, have filed a lawsuit that claims the city of Chicago's controversial tax policy on digital entertainment is illegal. Hey, Brian, hold on.
Hey there.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, I know.
The challenge to the tax policy filed last week in Cook County State Court is important because it could help define the power of cities and states to tax part of the internet economy. The controversy turns on Chicago's recent decision to extend its existing 9% amusement levy, which applies to events like shows and baseball games, to a wide range of online services. In their court challenge, a group of Chicago residents claimed the city comptroller's decision to apply the amusing tax to streaming services amounts to new tax that could only have been imposed by a vote of the city officials. They claim they are being harmed since the tax makes them pay more for Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Xbox Live, and Spotify. In a claim that may have national significance, the lawsuit also says that Chicago's streaming tax violates the federal Internet Tax Freedom Act, which forbids states and cities from imposing discriminatory internet-only taxes. Specifically, the Chicago subscribers claim the tax is illegal because it treats streaming differently from DVD by mail services and also imposes a higher rate than various live forms of entertainment. The city says it will fight the lawsuit vigorously, according to Chicago Tribune, which also reports the so-called Netflix tax is expected to bring in $12 million annually, and that is part of a larger attempt by Mayor Rahm Emanuel to use new fees to close the budget hole. So they're trying to put tax on services like that. Now, I'm asking myself a question. Nick, do you use Netflix?
Yeah.
When you log on, how it will, it allows you to use somebody else's Netflix and somebody else to use yours. If you log in, you can say who's using. And
it doesn't allow you to use somebody else. It allows you to create profiles inside of your Netflix account.
Yeah, so you're using it.
Yeah, but you're not using somebody else's account. It's all under one account. You're just
Correct.
It's like
Correct.
It's like logging
But
into a computer and having a bunch of user profiles.
Very, very nice. So if your sister lives in Chicago and she doesn't want to pay it, what happens if she logs onto your account and she's got a profile on your account and she's watching it through your account?
Nothing, because it's going to be on his account under his location.
Right. So I
But I want to talk about the jailbreaking versus
okay, yeah, you
unlocking
can go
stuff
to
real
the
quick. Just real quick, and then we can get into this other thing, because then I got to get going here. Just to be clear about this, the jailbreaking / rooting the phone lets you put a different ROM, or basically a different system to boot up, basically like a different operating system on the phone, right? Okay. That's different than unlocking. Unlocking lets you change carriers. Now, the point they were making on the story here, which is partly true, they're being a little confused doing that, is remember that most international carriers are GSM carriers. So therefore, that's why they're saying it would only work with AT&T or T-Mobile phones. Well, T-Mobile hasn't locked their phones in a while now, so really only AT&T phones are the concern about the people who have those phones are locked. The point that I wanted to bring up about locking the phones is that the carriers will let you unlock it if you owe them money because you got the phone quote unquote for free and you unlock it the next day. Well, of course you're going to pay something to get it unlocked because it's not a free phone. There's no such thing as that. You need to pay something to get out of that phone anyways. What they're going to charge you, I don't know. Anyway, it depends, but depends on what you owe them left now on a contract or of your agreement with them for the price of the phone, right? So that's the point there. So.
Okay, yeah, there are multiple reasons why. You're right.
Right, and that's the reason why they're talking. They would only work with international carriers because that's true. Because once you unlock it, at least here in the U.S., pretty much either AT&T or with GSM phones, you'd be on the older phones. You couldn't really move them around as much to different carriers. So
Yeah, I don't know. I never had any reason to unlock or root a phone.
well, neither have I. I mean, I've not had it for both the phone unlocking and rooting stuff because again, I'm here in the U.S. and I'm happy with it, relatively happy with AT&T and other people I know who have Verizon, similar thing. They're relatively happy with Verizon. So they haven't felt the need to unlock their, at least in the case of iPhones and whatnot. So that's usually what it comes down to. Somebody has an iPhone or Android device. They want to take it internationally, really is what it usually comes down to. They're taking a trip and they want to make sure they can use it there without having to go pay exorbitant charges for just using a little bit of data when they're just like in Europe for its bit. So
Yeah. I was having this discussion with something like Brian, you just said you're relatively happy with AT&T. I'm in the
Right.
exact same boat. It is such a pain to switch carriers. It's not even worth it.
well, in essence, whenever, I mean, at some point with Apple getting the soft SIMs, the Apple SIMs and that kind of stuff, some sort of vision in the future, we'll eventually get to the point where, yeah, we don't really matter which carrier you're on. It'll be just like, you'll just be able to route your traffic to whoever wants to bid for your traffic at that moment or something like that. But the way it stands now, yeah, your phone, because of the cellular radios that are in there, because of all the patents and everything else, all that wonderful stuff, is set up to go on a particular cell phone network. More and more phones now can work across carriers, GSM. LTE basically is making that happen, of course. But as far as AT&T goes, the coverage works for me here. Not everywhere, of course, it's always a thing. I know the customers of mine who had to switch carriers because they couldn't stay on the one provider and they didn't want to screw around with microcells and that nonsense and everything else in their house. So they went to Verizon, for example, and vice versa, so.
Yeah.
But coverage is getting improved. I mean, I will say AT&T, I will say they've been putting those, they work with a couple cities, Palo Alto and a few other cities around here to be able to put even San Francisco as well, to put micro cell sites in to cover in those dead spots where they used to be dead spots. So, part of it really, and it gets always back down to the thing which ties in our next story here, the utilities commissions and everything else, comes down to the fact that these cities then have a lot of say over where it can put towers at. And the problem is they have too much say in the case that we can't get towers in place we need them, and then we get situations where we don't have coverage, where the carriers would like to put it in, but they've thrown their hands up and they said, we've done everything we can do because from a technical standpoint, the signal will only go so far, right? And as many users you can have on a particular cell site, and there you go. So, but they're working on it, so that's the important thing. So,
All right, don't go away, Brian. Listen to this one here, as we're talking about AT&T. And the article goes, remember back in June when the Federal Communications Commission slapped AT&T with a $100 million fine for misleading subscribers on its unlimited data plans? Well, you can be sure that AT&T remembers, and the nation's #2 wireless service provider just quietly made a huge change to its throttling policy. At the time, the FCC chairman said that consumers were being deceived by misleading marketing material and insufficient disclosure. We're not sure whether or not AT&T disclosure is any more sufficient now than it was back then, but changes made this week to the carrier's data throttling policy will certainly make unlimited plan holders quite happy. For those who might be confused right now, you're correct. AT&T does not currently offer any wireless plans that include unlimited data. The carrier used to offer unlimited data plans, though, and there are still some customers who are grandfathered in.
Yep.
And who,
I am.
and who continue to enjoy unlimited data. Up until this week, however, those subscribers saw their data speeds throttled significantly in congested area after they used 3 gigabytes of HSPA data or 5 gigabytes of LTE data in a billing period. So what changed? That painfully low throttling threshold has now been raised all the way up to 22 gigabytes. Here's the relevant passage from AT&T updated websites. In line with common industry standard, our network management practices assure that network resources and blah, 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 blah. You can now use 22 gigabytes of high-speed data during a billing period before becoming subject to network management practices that might result in reduced data speeds and increased latency. In other words, legacy plan holders still have a limit on their unlimited data plans in many areas, but that limit is now much more reasonable than it had been prior to this change. So, did you ever go over your 3 gigabytes, Brian?
Luckily not. That I mean, quite honestly, I'm not using it a bunch when I'm streaming audio podcasts and whatnot in my car and everything when I'm driving, but
Right.
it never really had a problem. What I will say about this is good news, obviously, of course, and I understand AT&T's position in essence, which is they have a limited resource. They don't have just unlimited bandwidth they can just throw out there for everyone. They made a deal that they didn't, at the time with Apple and Steve Jobs, understand the true ramifications of it. Unfortunately, they were, in the case of the 3 or 5 gigabyte case, being way too low on their bandwidth caps.
Mhm.
It looks like they were catching too many people. I don't have a problem with people that, let's say, are very excessive users getting throttled back to make it so everyone else is going to be okay. I have a problem when it catches too many people. Like when you set the bar too low and everyone gets caught, like a DOI type thing where it's like 0.08 or something like that. And
Right.
you have one drink and it's a revenue generator. It's not about safety, you know? This kind of same thing here to say, okay, we're going to go out and catch all these people, throttle their bandwidth for no good reason because the bandwidth is still there. We're just trying to like make money and try to force people onto non-unlimited plans.
Right.
That's unfair because, and that's I'm glad they got in trouble because that's wrong. Because it's like I have a relationship with AT&T that was set up in good faith through Apple, in essence, with the deal they had with them, right? You know, to say, look, we're going to be okay as a user, or not going to be an abusive user, but I'm just going to be using it just kind of like a regular user is going to use it, not just there. I'm not, you know, being excessive, and that's what I'm trying to say. As long as you don't make it the average user is going to have a problem. When it's this case, then it's fine in my book. So there you go.
So, do you know anybody that did suffer?
I'm sure I know some people anyways. I just haven't really talked to them recently
Okay.
about it, but I'll double check recently and see what's up. So
Yeah, but I guess, I mean, 22 gigabytes is a lot for a phone.
yeah, well, yeah, which is exactly what you want. You want to make it so the people that are doing this are going to be most heavy users are the ones that get throttled,
Yeah.
as it should be. I mean, in essence, for a shared resource like that. Obviously, if it wasn't shared, if it was just like a fiber connection or something else, let's say we get to those discussions, you know, in the show, then in that case there shouldn't be caps because obviously there's no reason for those to be capped and everything. But
Right.
it's understandable. I mean, they pay a lot of money for spectrum that they put towers up. Like I said, some places they can't put as many towers up as they want to, so you have certain load of users. They have to figure out what's going to make sense for the network. You
Yep.
know, and that's basically it. So Yeah.
All right, Brian.
cool.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys, and have a good day, you guys.
You too.
Cheers.
You too,
Bye.
Brian.
919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Call us. Let's talk. Hey, Steve, you're back.
Yeah, well, I muted the mic when I'm not talking, just in case
I thought you
a
said
car or something goes by, you might hear it.
The RIAA says that the FBI has seized the domain of a file sharing service, ShareBeast, shutting down what it said was responsible for the leaks of thousands of songs. The site now only displays a notice says that the FBI acted pursuant to seizure warrant related to suspect criminal copyright infringement. In a statement, the RIAA CEO called the seizure a huge win for the music community and legitimate music services. ShareBeast operated with flagrant disregard for the rights of artists and labels while undermining the legal marketplace. I never heard about ShareBeast.
I've not heard of it before either, but yeah, there must have been, billions of people going there and copywriting, infringing and stuff.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, you would think that I'm assuming that they warned them again and again and again before they seizing it, and for somebody to just ignore.
Well, you would hope so, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make it clear in the article, but it's in some instances they don't. They may go to the host
Mhm.
and tell them that you should contact the website or the owners of the website or whatever else. And if they decide not to, then in some instances the people that are actually running the site have no notification whatsoever. First they hear about it as a court case, and then the site the domain name seized.
Yeah. So they took
What
it.
gets me is it's on the word of the entertainment industry. It hasn't gone to court. It hasn't had any judicial process whatsoever. It's just on their word,
Right.
which is wrong because they've, it's not like they haven't made any mistakes before. They've made thousands of mistakes.
In the chat, Alan is saying that Bill in his area states in their term of use that they can charge up to $30 a megabyte. $30 a megabyte? If they determine that their service is being used as a replacement for DSL. I wonder how they do that. I mean, if you're using it on your phone,
$30 a megabyte. Wow. That's
$30 a
rip-off, isn't it?
megabyte.
I've been wanting to keep a very close check on what
Yeah.
how close I was getting to the cat with that.
I would
amount.
I think I would switch.
Yeah, if you've got the ability to switch, then do that. Blimey, $30 a megabyte is scary. As long as the cap is reasonable, I mean, that's what Brian was saying. As long as they put a cap in that's reasonable for the average user, then great. But in some instances, it isn't. It's, out of the question, really. It's just ridiculous. And it's just a cash cow for them.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. A
That's
big
exactly what
rip-off.
it is. Cash cow.
I've turned the data off on mine. I just use update through the Wi-Fi when I'm, next to a Wi-Fi that I've got access to. Don't need data, thank you.
I don't know how many of you remember Epson about probably 10 years ago. There was a lawsuit about their cartridges saying that they're empty, but they still had about 30-some% in them. So printing ink is expensive. So it's important that when a printer tells you that a cartridge is running dry, the cartridge is actually running dry. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The folks over at Bellevue Fine Art in Seattle recently decided to find out exactly how much ink their high-end Epson 9900 wastes. A professional-grade 700 milliliter cartridge will have 120 to 150 milliliters remaining when empty, and a 350 milliliter cartridge will have 60 to 80 remaining when empty. For this particular studio, the difference amounts to hundreds of dollars worth of ink every month. I mean, this is really ridiculous. I don't understand why they're doing this. I don't think
I do.
what?
I do. I understand why.
Well,
God,
yeah, but I
it's
mean,
terrible.
it's so easy to prove.
Yeah, but most people don't, do they? They just think, oh, the
Yeah.
cartridge is empty, throw it away. But if you're a business and you're using a lot, like in this case, then it pays them to do some sort of forensic evidence to figure out how much. But that is scandalous. Why don't they have a dipstick on these ink cartridges so you can actually see yourself?
And a lot of them you can. A lot of them
Yeah.
are made or were made from see-through or semi-see-through material, so you could see how much is left.
Mm.
And I remember when the days, now the Epson ones are kind of like you can't see through them. And I remember the days when I was helping Nabil fill up cartridges over at the fairgrounds here. People will come with those Epsons, and of course, you needed to have a resetter to reset them because they don't sense how much ink is there to tell you that it's empty. It's a chip that says, okay, they printed so many pages, so I must be empty. And most, if not all, of the customers that would come with Epson's cartridges, all we do is we would reset the cartridge and say, okay, now use it until it runs dry. And they'll be back after about a month or so and say, okay, well, it won't print anymore. And now they got their money's worth from the cartridge. A lot of these cartridges, most of them actually, don't have a sponge in them. It's just an ink tank. And there is no risk of drying it out. Some of the HP or some of the other manufacturers, many of the cartridges have a sponge that holds the ink in it. And if you allow that to dry out, it starts falling apart. So it's always better to have it refilled before it's empty. So they already got, 10 years ago, there was like a class action suit against them, and I don't remember what was the outcome. But to do it again, give me a break. It's irresponsible, absolutely irresponsible.
Well, it's money grab. It's like Lexmark
Yeah.
doing the similar thing where if you buy a cartridge in Europe and you put it in the printer, then you
Right.
can only put European cartridges
Yep.
in, and you can't source them from any other continent.
Right.
I mean, it's a rip-off,
Yep.
You buy the printer. Admittedly, printers are really cheap now. They make their money on the milliliters of ink that are in the cartridges. Fair comment. They've got to make profit somehow, but they need to do it, honorably.
Yes. All right, let's see what's next here. A new report says broadband users need at least 10 megabits to be satisfied with their connection, especially with regards to online video, which is now seen as a staple internet application. Researchers at Ovum measured both objective data such as speed and coverage alongside customer data to give 30 countries a scorecard. Sweden was deemed to have the best broadband ahead of Romania and Canada, while the UK and US finished joint 8th with Russia. Ever since broadband services were launched, there has been discussion on what the definition of broadband and how much speed do consumers really need. In 2015, the answer is at least 10 megabits if you wish to receive a good quality broadband experience, and a significant number of households, even in well-developed broadband countries, are well shy of this mark, while a lot of them are also way above this mark. What do you have now, Steve?
Well, at the moment, there's a big to-do with Ofcom, which is the regulator for communications over here. The law at the moment says broadband is determined to be 2 megabytes, which is ludicrous.
Megabits.
So, megabits, sorry.
Yeah.
The controlling body wants it up to 10 megabytes, like megabits, like it is in America. That's what they want. And the ISPs are all doing their nut at the moment, saying, no, you can't do that. That's way too much. You know, you need to step it up a little bit. And they're saying, well, 10 megabytes is the minimum. That's what you're going to have to achieve. Megabits, sorry, I keep saying bytes. But the ISPs aren't happy. Well, tough luck. You know, you should have looked to the future and planned ahead. Instead of ripping us all off and taking our money and not upgrading the system as you were going, now you're going to have to do it, which is good.
Yeah. Nick, what's your take on that?
I just got back, so I have no clue.
Oh, I mean, what do you think is the minimum speed that people need these days in order to enjoy the internet?
I don't know. I mean, what's your define and enjoy? So
well, I
that's what
mean,
asked you, Emma.
to get video and
I mean, is that, or is everybody really doing that? I mean, or like,
no. This is just a study that they did, and they said that.
no, I know, but that's the interesting thing. Or like, for example, my grandparents, they don't stream video online. So what it takes for them to enjoy the internet and what it takes for the, compare them to my parents. Right? My parents stream some stuff online. My grandparents don't. So what it takes them to enjoy the internet, what it takes my parents to enjoy the internet, two completely different things. I mean, it's interesting.
You
Right.
need to look at it as an average, though, and I think what they're doing is they're saying a lot more people are using services like Netflix and
Definitely.
iFilm and things like this, and looking at YouTube videos. And in order to do that, if you've got video content coming in, then you need a higher bandwidth.
Oh, totally. I agree with you. I'm just saying, that's a very, it's very interesting. What does it take for somebody to, you have to define enjoy.
Hmm.
Each person's definition of enjoying something is different. So
I don't think 10 megabit is out of the ordinary. I don't think that's way too much. 10 megabit by today's standards is nothing really. When you take into account, it's not going to be, as you say, it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be, maybe 50 or 60% of the population. So what? It's not a big deal then, is it?
yeah, it's all personal. It's preference.
Hmm.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to move to Sweden now.
Good call.
Sweden's been like that for years, and it's been like that for a decade. It's always been at the top, 100 megabit up and down as standard in every home.
That's interesting.
Back when I was running the website in 2003 and onwards, we had people in Sweden, and they were, 100 megabit up and down standard, whether you lived in out the ordinary area or out in the sticks. You got 100 megabit up and down. The whole infrastructure was in place to do that.
Here is another interesting story. It involves iOS. Sarah Perez reports at TechCrunch that only one day after the release of Apple's newly released version of Apple's mobile operating system, iOS 9, ad blockers are topping the charts in the App Store. And it seems that new iOS 9 users are thrilled to have access to this added functionality. The top paid iOS app is the new ad blocker Peace at $2.99 from Instapaper, Marco Arment. Peace currently supports a number of exclusive features that aren't found in other blockers yet. Most notably, it uses Ghostery's more robust block list, which they license from the larger company by offering them a percentage of the app's revenue. We were talking about ad blockers last week.
Hold on. What was the name of that app?
Peace.
Yeah, it's gone now, I believe.
Yeah. So after 2 days that it was there, the author realized that it was blocking ads on his own website. So he pulled it out. He said, "Oh, it's not fair to have something like that. There's a lot of people that are going to be hurt."
including himself.
Yeah. So but I didn't. But the thing about the story here is I wasn't aware that before that you could not use. I wish Brian was still here. You could not use ad blockers.
Nothing existed. There was no extensions for Safari. There was no add-ons. And that's what that is. It's an add-on.
So if you're using Safari, you cannot block ads. There's no way of doing it. How about if you use? Can't you use Firefox under Apple? I mean, under Mac, under iOS, or any of the other ones?
Hold on, Aaron. You're getting very confused.
I know.
iOS and Mac are not the
iOS.
same thing.
iOS. I'm sorry.
I don't know. On Android, I know it came. Firefox came built in with AdBlock on Android. Not sure how that is on iOS.
I mean, I'm sure there's something here. They said that the iOS users are thrilled to have access to this added functionality of
Yeah, because
blocking
it'll work
ads.
for Safari, but I'm not sure if it works for. I don't know if any third-party browsers have it. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, you know, to block ads is not something new on the PC.
Nope.
And interesting situation here with the developer finds out that, oh, it's even blocking my own ads. Well, what did you expect?
You think he'd have checked his own backyard first, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I wonder how many times that was downloaded.
It was a top-rated app.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I wonder if there's really a way for him to pull it out. I mean, other people can't other people post it? Oh no, but you don't really download it, quote unquote. You install it, right? So it's not like you downloading and saving a file and then running it. So the fact that you have it on your phone or on your device doesn't mean that you can take that app and post it somewhere and say, okay, here, people, you want it? Here it is.
You want it, you got it.
Unless your phone's rooted, perhaps, then you might be able to do things like file management and take it off.
Yep.
It'll be out there in the wild for months to come,
Yeah.
probably.
What else do we got?
I'll leave that for later. Nick, did you get my message? Do you
Yes,
have
and I responded to your message.
an email?
No, I responded to your message.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
Okay, well.
Just relax.
Well, now we got to tell everybody. I totally forgot about specials.
That's fine.
being-
That's fine.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, but you we're acting like it's a
Yeah,
secret.
it is absolutely fine. You got nothing.
Just
to
so
worry
everybody knows, Amnon is going to kick me off the show. I will not be here next week. Just so- No, honestly.
No,
Just,
everybody. I mean, next Sunday, Spence is going to be here.
oh, perfect. Well, then he won't have a need for me anymore. Perfect.
I don't
Even
know.
better.
I mean, you and him hammer it out.
He can. That's his thing. He can. He can continue.
Yeah.
There's
So
just
what-
I talked about this last week. There's really not a whole lot of specials.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
It's
So-
always like this before the holidays.
Yeah, but even during I mean, it's just like, oh, wow, look at this. Toshiba's got a satellite laptop. Well, what a great deal. Emma, I got something to talk about.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I can finally talk about my new project now,
Yes, go ahead.
as episode 1 is officially up. So I've started a new podcast, competing directly with Computers 2K now. It's for people that have watched the show for a while. I used to do On the Radar, which was just like a gaming tech show. And I've kind of started up something similar to that. I'm still doing Infection, the H1Z1 show, but that's a very I don't know how to word it. It's a very niche thing, and it's honestly it's the same thing every week, and it just gets a little repetitive. So I started up this new show, and we covered the just gaming, geek culture, nerdy stuff on the show. And the difference is I'm doing it with somebody in studio. So my Jake, the co-host for On the Radar, is actually here doing the show. So it's instead of having to deal with Skype, he's sitting here in studio, and we're having like a real, actual conversation, which is interesting.
So real interaction, as it
Yeah.
were.
It's I talk about this all the time, but Steve, you and I are sitting here talking on Google Plus. If we were sitting in person and talking, it would be much different.
Yeah, the atmosphere is different. You've got another sense. You're reading somebody else's body language. At the moment, there's always a delay, but when you're there with somebody else in the studio, maybe sitting opposite each other, you play off of each other.
Exactly.
Works much better.
You get emotion
Yeah.
on when you're in person. You can exactly what you said, body language. You can totally feed off somebody's body language when you're sitting in studio with them, and it's a much more it's a much more intimate conversation, right? You can only pull a conversation so far over Skype or Google Hangouts, but it's a much more it's a much smoother conversation when you're in person with somebody actually.
Yeah, when you've got the other person there and you can actually see when they're taking a breath to say something, you don't get that on Skype and you don't get that on Hangouts. So you end up talking over each other or interrupting, and it doesn't make it as professional as when you are with somebody.
So it's so unbelievably smooth because there's no hiccups, right?
And when you see the other one faltering, you can chip in with something else, which, again, when there's a delay, and there always is a delay, you don't get that opportunity.
Exactly. So, yeah, there you go. That's what I've been working on.
Cool. Well done.
Cool.
Oh, wait. Yeah, let me post a link in there. I don't think I even said the name.
The what?
I didn't even say the name, so there we go. Posted the link in chat.
I like the name, because the Crummy Show.
Yeah, thecrummyshow.com. An episode one. We're doing a pre-recorded, and new shows are released every Sunday. So,
I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast, an audio-only podcast, and it is actually nice. And I understand why people were asking that I would post our show also as audio only. It's nice because you can put it on and you can keep on doing whatever you're doing. You don't need to watch, you're just listening.
Bingo, you got it. It's exactly why we're doing it.
You don't think about these things until you do it.
It's great. I mean, you just open the MP3 and then there you go. You're working on whatever you're working on. It doesn't require your attention. And even shows that have a video aspect but don't have video, there's still something to look at. So you're still have the video open, but with this, there's no way there is no video to have open.
But there's no expectation from the listener either. It's not like, I'm missing something because I'm not seeing the visuals.
Exactly.
When there isn't any there, you don't have to worry about it. You just get on and do with what you're doing while you're, cleaning the house, fixing the car, whatever.
Exactly. And it's kind of hard doing audio only. It's interesting because you can't be like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
But the other respect is, when I'm sitting up like this, talking, I'm on camera, so I'm talking. But when I do the show, I'm sitting like this. I mean, you can just hear the difference in my voice. It's just casually talking.
For the host, it's not as stressful, that's for sure.
Exactly. It's just, you put yourself together and you sit up with your back straight and you make sure you're talking like this because, you're doing a video show and you want people to see you.
It's one of the reasons I don't do video, because I feel a lot more relaxed, just sat here comfortable in my chair and not having to worry about if I want to scratch my face or do whatever.
Exactly. So, if you're interested in gaming, our tagline is gaming, geekiness, and more. That's what we do.
And they do it fine.
Yeah. So if I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but if that's your if that you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. Appreciate it.
All right, let's see what else I have here. Comcast will pay $33.4 million in restitution after California found that the firm had broadcast the personal details of customers who paid for unlisted service. The issue centers around 75,000 users whose names, numbers, and addresses were available in the company's online directory. Rubbing more salt into the wound, this data was also made available in several rural telephone books and critically via nationwide directory assistance. If you're asking us, publishing the names, addresses, and phone numbers of people online, in print, and on the internet on an internal directory seems like a stretching of definition of unlisted. Comcast was found to be in breach of its obligations by a super group of state bodies, including California's Public Utilities Commission and the Department of Justice. The firm will be asked to stump up $25 million in fines to the state, as well as refund the service fees of the 75,000 affected users. In addition, those customers will also get $100 by way of an apology, which may come as little consolation if people were trying to avoid these nuisance callers. Comcast will also have to check with the California Public Utility Commission for the next 3 years to make sure it's improving the compliance procedures. I want to know, why is the state getting that $25 million instead of all the customers that their information was put out? I don't understand.
They're getting $100.
I mean, they say that they're getting, that they told them to refund the service fees. But what does that mean? Service fees for how long? From day one? From I don't know. I mean, it's but the thing is that fines to the state. I don't think the state should make any money from this. I think the money should go to the affected
Subscribers.
people. It's just here it seems like the state is trying to make money from the situation.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the users are getting $100 each, so that's good.
Well, no, they're getting $100 by way of an apology.
Ah, right.
I wonder what does that mean? It's so many words that are worth $100.
The letter with 100 words each worth $1 each.
$100 by way of apology, of an apology. What do you mean stream gone? Stream gone from where?
You said I selected audio only. I'm still getting video, and then stream gone now.
Did you click on the JustCast? Jerry Lee Lewis. If your internet is kind of on the slow side, you can click on Daily Motion and change the quality of the video down to, let's say, 360p or 240p. Oh, so yeah, he's getting. Oh, now everything is gone. Interesting. I know that StreamUp is not. is not working. They're down. They must be down because I can't even connect to them.
They're having difficulties.
Difficulties. Um, so the guys in the chat. Wait, before we get into that, so Jeff Bundy saying interesting theme of penalties, illegal action today. Volkswagen, Comcast, yeah, but yeah, more of a source of revenue for government agencies, right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it does seem to be that way.
Yeah.
They're grabbing money from everywhere.
So, guys in the chat, does it make really a difference to you that we went high definition? Is anybody watching it on a big monitor that they can say, oh yeah, it's much better? I'm really interested to know. I can't imagine that anybody who's watching it on a phone or on a tablet or even on a computer with the chat beside it sees any difference. And since we're talking about the fact that the audio podcast, is it really important for you to have an HD video stream? And don't be shy to say no, it doesn't mean anything to me, because I kept on arguing that it should not make any difference. Not on our show anyway. So I'm wondering. Yeah, Jeff says HD, nice, not necessary. Absolutely.
As long as you've got the bandwidth to stream it and you haven't got any ridiculous caps, I don't see there's a problem with it
Well,
personally. But then,
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about caps because I'm using the Time Warner.
No, I mean for the people that are streaming it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
HD
yes.
video is going to use more bandwidth. So, if the people out there aren't that worried about it and it's not taking them close or over their caps each time, then it's not a big problem, is it? It's nice, like Jeff Bundy says, it's nice, but it's not necessary.
If any of you, I mean, if any of you do have caps, then Daily Motion and lower the quality will save your bandwidth. And Charles is saying that honestly, the HD video is only marginally better. Interesting.
I would disagree, but 2015 people.
The what? Yeah, I know.
2015.
I always gauged the quality by blowing up the screen to full screen and reading the date at the bottom right. And yeah, on JustCast and Daily Motion, because it goes to another machine, it's not as clear. But when StreamUp is up, because I'm doing it right from here, it is it's clear as a bell. And it wasn't like that before. Now, whether or not it's important or not, yes, this can be argued back and forth.
Why would you not want better? That's the whole thing.
Wow. What when
wow, what?
When no, Jerry Lee Lewis saying completely unintelligible here in Kansas. What do you, are you
And
you
what's
what?
I'm looking for? Unlegible, I think is what he was going for. Maybe. Or maybe it auto corrected.
Jerry Lee Lewis, are you up? Are you watching and hearing again? Is it okay? Yes, I see that now that it's Well, it seems like it's back to where to normal now.
Fine. We don't need to make it the whole show. It's fine.
You what?
So we don't need to make it into the whole show. It's fine.
No, I
Move
mean
on.
it's fine to. I mean it's interesting. I always wanted to know what people
Yeah, but
are.
you're just waiting for the delay. Nothing's happening. I haven't been.
CW tell. Okay. What? Go ahead.
I haven't seen any breaking up. Maybe it's your connection. Every Time Warner's having an issue.
Yeah. No. I mean I'm like right now my JustCast is kind of choppy.
Oh, maybe it's the CDN.
Um,
Only problem is you only have 2 CDNs.
it's possible that it's
Daily
something-
Motion doesn't load, and neither does Stream Up.
still going out, and it'll straighten.
It's
out.
fine. We really
Yeah,
don't need
it's
to
fine.
harp on
I
it.
mean, if you're seeing it fine, then it's fine.
We don't need to harp.
All right. What else?
Not much.
It's been kind of a slow week.
It seems like every week
Um,
is a slow week. Now we're getting into winter.
Now we get into what?
I said now that we're starting to get into winter,
Yeah.
everything
Well-
is kind of slow.
Okay. why
Everyone's
is-
thinking of hibernation.
Yes, that's what we do here.
Nick, what is the? How can there be a VLC feed?
There's not
What is a VLC feed? I mean-
the HLS.
Oh, an HLS. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do the HLS on top of this. I forgot to tell you that that i5 machine is running at about 85 to 90 with 2 CDNs.
Shouldn't be. Check your settings.
It's what?
Check your settings.
Well, settings are
Are your live
1,000,
thumbnails at 30 frames a second?
1,000, 30.
Are your live thumbnails at 30 frames a second?
Oh no.
Oh.
That's at 1.
That shouldn't be running that high. There's a problem.
Wait a second. You just reminded me.
Yes.
Just reminded me.
Okay. I guess I'm not.
And there he was gone.
Okie dokie.
What does HLS stand for?
I don't know what it stands for. I can Google it and I can explain it. It's HTTP live streaming. So HLS is like a raw. It's a file extension is normally an M3 U8, which is it's like a live video format. So you stream a video live, you can stream it directly to somebody via HLS using the M3 U8 and stuff like VLC, Media Player Classic, Ace Stream. They all can, and even your web browser can take an M3 U8 file, and it's just a live playback.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the problem is none of the CDNs make it available because then people stop using the CDN and they just start using the direct link, and then they embed it and put it on Roku and end up costing them a bunch of money and giving them no promotion at all. So
Yeah, yesterday I set it up to 10 because I was testing and I forgot to put it back.
yeah, the stream is definitely choppy though. Something's going on. Maybe it's your internet.
So it went down to 71, 75. Charles, I've been having to, if you can hear this, I've been having to restart my Time Warner modem almost every day.
I'm having the same problem. I come home and I'm like, God, YouTube is taking forever to pull up.
Mhm.
So I just log into the modem, click reboot, and then just flip
Yep.
the switch on the router every day. It's so bleeping computer annoying.
Yep.
Ugh, so
Um,
frustrating.
it's well, maybe it is the rollout. I don't know what it is,
Well,
but
there's no rollout up here. I can tell you that much.
I'll check the speed, and I use Time Warner's speed test, and my download is less than 1 megabit, and my upload is always worth like about 10, but the download is bad. So I'll reboot, and bam, it's back to about 60.
Really?
But if you're going to restart your modem, then exit the chat so you can come back with your own name again. And again, for everybody, if you look up at the upper left corner of the chat window where it says live chat, right under Computers 2K Now, if you click that X, that will log you off so you can come back with the same name. But yeah, that Time Warner, I mean, it's a pain in the butt, but you know, you do it and you suffer with it, and you say, well, maybe it is because of that, and things are just going to get better. We'll see. For the last week, every day, restart. It's a good thing to restart the modem, router, and switch if you have one every now and then anyway. But sometimes if you check the speed and it's low, then do it. What, Alan? I don't understand what you mean by what are your other choices.
I think he's talking about tier choices. The stream is really bad, Emma. We should probably wrap this up.
Well,
It's like every other word. I don't know what's
let's
going
see.
on.
Hold on, everybody. Don't.
Why don't we do this after?
No,
the
no.
show?
I just want to see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do JazzCast from here.
What, Emma? We can just do this after.
Huh?
You're gonna screw up your recording and everything. Just do it
No,
right
I
after.
can just add it. I'm not going to
Yeah,
do
but when
anything.
you open up that thing inside of Wirecast, it drops the quality of all your streams. I wouldn't recommend it.
Relax.
Okay, go for it.
Relax.
Everybody, I'm going to drop JazzCast.
Okay.
Jeff saying on Daily Motion 720 HD here, it's been fine. Good on your Daily Motion.
Okay. Are things any better now?
Still choppy.
Yep, it's still kind of choppy.
It's the CDN.
They must be having a busy weekend.
No, nobody's using them. That's the problem. Can't even load Daily Motion. Maybe the internet's being DDoSed this morning.
So let's see if Daily Motion is fine, then Daily Motion.
Yeah, I can't load Daily Motion.
Huh?
Said I can't load Daily Motion for whatever reason.
What? I mean, just today or in general?
I don't know. I never try it, but it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, it's working nice on Daily Motion.
All right, good.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's 720.
Alrighty.
That's interesting. Well, all right. So we
So that's
Yeah.
a wrap for this week, is it?
Charles,
Could
go
be.
ahead. Go ahead and switch to Daily Motion. Let me know. I'm curious.
JustCast is having issues. Dailymotion is fine. Stream is
Yeah.
having issues. That's what it is.
Right. They must
that.
be having issues because right now I'm streaming directly from this machine using Uverse versus using Time Warner on the other machine. So it should be different.
All right.
All right. So I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right. Steve, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nick.
Yep. See ya.
You're going to be online doing a show Tuesday night.
Yep.
At 7 and then Thursday night at 8.
No. No Thursday night at 8. What? There's no set time for that.
Oh, I thought you all okay.
Every Sunday. New
Okay.
show.
All right.
No
Okay,
set time.
everybody. Thanks again.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Your Healthy Pet with Gisela DiCarlo. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.